Hello, everybody. It's Mini Mark again, and he's back, and he has an opening hand that kind of looks nuts, so he's gonna keep it. Again, I'm playing the Stompy deck, and this is the first ever game that I'm putting up on my YouTube channel, so it should be fun. And we have a friend who is playing a Delver on turn one, which is always a good time to see. Um, so yeah, it is. Saraja? I don't know who that name is, but I'm going to play cards now because that's what you guys came here to see, not hear me butcher people's names as I try to pronounce them because I'm bad at words. So yeah, I'm just going to take two off the Vault Scourge and pass. When I see a Delver on turn one, it often makes me a little bit nervous because I'm not sure what exactly he's trying to do. There's a couple of different decks that like to play Delvers. One of the decks is the elemental combo, which tries to go off with um, what are they called? Like Kiln Fiend, and I used to play this deck, Nivik Cyclops. So basically, they want to play them and then just play a bunch of cantrippy type spells, give their dude double strike, make it unblockable, and basically make it into a 10 or greater power, and then this attack for 20. And then you just sit there and you're just like, oh my god, that's powerful. And it is, and it's kind of broken. Um, but the thing with that deck is it needs very specific cards. Oh, well, I'd rather get that countered because I have a play I want to make next turn with the Quirion Ranger. Because I'm going to want to, if I don't draw a land, maybe flicker a land, play the Garruk's Companion, and then be able to attack for a big hit with the multiple ground spells that I have. It's something I want to do eventually. But let's see what he has now. I'm pretty sure this is mono blue control. Typically, the deck I was describing earlier doesn't play. Oh, cool. Hit a land anyways. They tend not to play the decks or the cards that are like, hey, I'm going to counterspell your dude. They tend to just straight counterspell because it is very mana intensive and they want to hit, multiple types of mana because they're an equal opportunity screw you over deck. So yeah, I'm pretty sure this is going to get countered, but we'll see. I don't think he would leave open this man otherwise. Yeah, counter spell. Okay. So this is going to get difficult. He countered two of my creatures, and he's playing mono blue control, and he has a piracy charm, which means he can just kill one of my dudes. At least that's what he thinks. I have multiple spells I can use to not let that happen, and at least draw out another counter spell. Okay, that's realistic. Oh great, and I'm hitting lands. So I think at this point what I'm going to do is I'm just going to swing with the team and see what he does. I have, 12, 13, 14 damage that I can do in one turn, so I know he's going to try to use Piracy Charm on me, so I'm just going to swing with both. That gives +2, -1. So he's going to do it, so he gives it +2, -1, trying to kill one of my creatures, and then I'm just going to, like, groundswell it or something. So, yeah. That's the play. If he might have, like, a daze or something to get one of the dudes, but, he didn't block at all. I think I just want to start with at least getting one of those in. He might Piracy Charm to make me discard a card. Oh, he's going to think twice. That jerk. Okay, so, yeah, basically what the mono blue control deck is trying to do is it's trying to sit back and say, well, deal with these threats. I'm going to put very few of them down. It's going to be like Spire Golems and stuff like that. But the goal of this deck is... I'm just going to flick at the land so I can get the landfall for groundswell if I need it. So basically the goal of the deck is just don't let your dude do stuff and then get card advantage. Basically every control deck ever. It's a very original plan, and it's adorable that it thinks it's cool because of that. So yeah, I'm going to swing with my Vault Scourge. He's going to Piracy Charm it. I'm going to respond by ground swelling it. And we're just going to fight over this Vault Scourge, I think. He's going to counter it. So then I'm going to Vines to keep it alive because it's the only thing I have that's putting pressure on right now. So I really do need it to survive and keep doing damage to him. Um, I probably could have attacked with the Korean Dryad too, and hoped to get Hunger the Howl Pack to go off with it. But we'll see what happens here. What does he have? Because this has a Morbid trigger, which means if something dies, you can put 3+1/+1 counters on something, which could have made this pretty big. Okay, so that's a face down card. I should probably know what this card is. But I don't. Oh, yeah, okay. I do know what this card is. So it basically lets him return lands and make himself a thing and draw some cards. It's pretty cool. Sadly. Well, that's fine, I guess. I think I'm just going to attack with both and make him make a move on this because I'm kind of in the driver's seat, and if he wants to like block the Quirion Ranger, then I'm more than happy to just make this guy into a 4/4 that he has to deal with. Now, given he just drew 2 cards, he probably has a way of dealing with it, but we will cross that bridge when we come to it. The issue here is, okay, so he's going to do that. I think I'm just going to let this resolve, untap him by bouncing a land, leave up vines, and then just make him big after this happens. So I can get full value out of it, make him into a 4/4, and we'll see what happens here. He probably has a counter spell or something here. Oh, he doesn't. Okay. Oh, he's going to think again. So he has the potential to draw cards like crazy from now on because he has all of this stuff. Oh, he used the Piracy Charm, so I can get rid of that. Another Delver, which is good for me to see because that means he doesn't have anything. Ooh, that's spicy. Okay. So we'll put the Rancor on, and then we'll attack. Will we attack? The issue is if we attack and he double blocks and has counter backup, then I just lose. Like, I need to then draw out of it and have him not have a counter spell up, and a bunch of stuff has to happen, which does make this kind of difficult of a decision to make. What are the odds that the deck that plays probably 8 counter spells that can attack the vines? I've already seen one of them. The odds are pretty good. He's drawn a lot of cards. He has 4 in hand. But no one has ever won a game of Magic by not being stupid aggressive. I'm pretty sure that's how it goes. So I'm just going to attack and see what he does here. I'm assuming it's a double block. Yeah, it's a double block. I want to make sure I get rid of the Spire Golem because I have something. I don't have much I can get through for toughness. So I'll assign him like that. And then I'll cast it, and he'll bounce my creature or counter it or something, and then I'll just lose this game. That's the issue with this deck. It kind of just needs to go all in sometimes. And, oh, he's just going to think twice? Oh, he's digging for a daze. But if he gets a daze, I have the land up? So he goes to 2. And is just dead? Unless he has a way of bouncing this or playing another thing. Curious. Alright, well, you can hit me for 1. I'm at 32 damage. I'm at 32 life, so, you know, that's fine. I'll take the 1. Thinking twice again. So he's digging for something. Like, he knows he's in trouble right now. Alright, so I'm just going to attack and make him have it. I mean, there's no reason not to attack here. Just deal damage to him. Okay, cool. So we got there. That attack was very Could have gone very bad for us. He could have had a number of things. He's playing Deprives. He's probably playing Daze. He's playing Counterspell. He had a lot of stuff that he could have done to me that could have gotten rid of the Vines of Vastwood before it was able to resolve, which would have just resulted in a 2-for-2, and it would have left me with no cards in hand except for a Rancor and no creatures. And as we can see, no, well, I probably would have been fine then. Nettle Sentinel and then into a Vines and a Groundswell with a Rancor would probably gotten me there eventually, but I mean, 37 life is kind of hard to beat. But all right, so let's go to the sideboard. We can get ready for game 2. So as I was saying in the previous thing, basically all I have for Mono Blue control is River Boa, and I can bring in Scattershot Archers, but I haven't seen any of the fairies. There's a fairy version of the Mono Blue, which is a lot of like Spellstutter sprites and stuff like that, and like Cloud of Fairies. So it's a lot of X1s in the air, and you can just bring these guys in and turn them sideways and just wipe out a board. They're very powerful. I didn't really see much that I cared about that I wanted a Hornets thing either. Delvers are annoying, and yes, they're very powerful, but they're not like you have to snap kill them every time, because you're typically just going to be able to make things bigger and faster and beat down harder than the Delver is going to be able to deal with just by like sitting there floating around. I didn't see any reason to bring in a Thermokarst. No Gleeful Sabotage targets. I mean, the Shinnin is always an option. The thing is, he's, there's not really much that I want to take out for him. And I will take out the Safehold Elite because it just is, it's a 2-2 for 2, and the persist isn't really going to matter all that much in this matchup. So I'm going to take that out. So yeah, hopefully you guys are able to follow me. I'm, as I said, a little scatterbrained, so it's kind of a little messed up. Also combo I didn't mention before. Hunger of the Hollow Pack, Safehold Elite. Oh look, it's persisted. Guess it's going to have to die another time. So it's kind of cool. You kind of almost get another card back out of the Hunger of the Hollow Pack in the event that he is able to do dirty things to you. Ooh, this is good on the draw, because you can just go Nettle Sentinel, and if you hit any land at any point in the game, you're off to the races. And if you don't, then you can just have a Nettle Sentinel wearing a Rancor just beating down for the first couple of turns. And then you can play like Young Wolf, and just be like, okay, Young Wolf has a Bone Splitter, block it. And then he does, and then you're like, okay, cool. Block it again. This time it has 4 power. I mean, that's the thing I love about things like Bone Splitter and Rancor. They are just incredibly powerful, and it's almost like my deck knows what I want when I want it. I think the play this turn is definitely going to be double Young Wolf, because he's holding up counter magic, so I don't want to just run my head into it, because that typically hurts. Especially a spell as powerful as Rancor, where you can keep using it over and over again. So for now, I'll just Young Wolf, and I'll always yield to this trigger, and always answer yes, because that's silly. No, it's cool. I totally meant to click through my turn there. Oh, he's going to repeal it? Oh, thank you for clicking through my turn. I will trade a Vines of Vastwood for a repeal, because then he doesn't get to draw the card off of it, which is actually pretty good. It's basically trading a card for tempo and another card, so he just kind of doesn't get that, which is, the whole goal of the blue deck is to survive long enough to have so much card advantage that you just can't deal with them. They're just going to keep drawing stuff and doing stuff that's just degenerate, and you're just going to have to say, well, can't really deal with that. So yeah, I mean, it's kind of rough, but it's kind of the way it works. What I'm going to do this turn is I'm just going to Rancor up my Nettle Sentinel, and then attack with both. If he wants to block the Spire Golem, I'll do that. So yeah, pay my green. And if he blocks the Nettle Sentinel, then that's also fine. I'll just run out the other Young Wolf or something. It's not really that pressing of an issue right now. And the fact that he played the Spire Golem up and didn't leave up counter magic kind of makes me think he doesn't have anything too super powerful right now. So that's always good. And yeah, see, now I have a Young Wolf. That's a 2-2. I can Bone Splitter it next turn, and then he'll have to pick. He'll have to either die or chump. But for now, I'll just make that big. Yeah, deal with the 7/5. To which he's going to say, okay, sure, I'll just repeal it or bounce it with any number of spells that exist in Magic. And I'll say, okay, cool. I guess you got me. Oh, Curse of Chains. Yeah, that's really rough. Because that's what, a 3-for-1 right there? Because I used Hunger, the Sentinel, and the Rancor. Oh, and he's got that. Wow. Okay. Okay, I get it. You. Okay, for those who don't know what Curse of Chains is, it's basically pacifism that you can use for blue. And whoever was sitting there saying, "Oh no, pacifism is definitely something that should exist in blue," I say to you, what the hell's wrong with you? Now, here's an interesting fact, though. Perfect. It's almost like it knew what I wanted. I'm going to play Aquarian Ranger, which is going to untap my Nettle Sentinel. Then I'm going to bounce the land that I already tapped, then replay it, which is going to untap my Young Wolf, and then I'm going to win. Yeah, all the right stuff is what my opponent's saying over in the chat. Yeah, sorry, dude. It's just kind of happened that way, and I'm going to play that out, and then I'm going to be able to hit for 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. I'm going to be one short, which is fine because then I'll have like... I think I'll just play out the Young Wolf and the Bone Splitter instead. I'll just beat down with these guys. And next turn, I'll be able to use Groundswell to great effect again because I'll also have the ability to flicker a land with the Aquarian Ranger. So he goes to 5. I play out a Young Wolf, which untaps my dude. And I play Bone Splitter. And I'll pass. He taps both my guys down. And he kind of has to have something right now. Oh, I kind of feel bad. He is mana flooded right now. Which is kind of... Yeah, he's just going to draw a bunch of cards and see if he can get something to get himself out of this, I think. After he attacks for 2. I mean, he's basically dead here. I don't really see that much he can do. Unless this is a different card. Okay, cool. So I'm going to play... Yeah, I can do all 3. So I'm going to play the Pit Sulk, which is going to untap the Nettle Sentinel. Then I'm going to untap the Young Wolf with the Forest. Replay the Forest. Bone Splitter up the Young Wolf? This Young Wolf. So if he decides to block it, it happens. And then I played a land this turn, so Groundswell is live, and I'm just going to swing with the team because I have, all my attackers are lethal at this point, and he has to have something with his 1 card in hand. So, oh, and for those of you who don't like the beta, because I know a lot of people don't, you have this button that lets you just alpha. It's just an alpha strike button. So let's see what he can do here. I'm assuming he's going to just block, flip his dude, draw cards, and then try to find something to get out of it in response to him flipping his card up in order to make it draw cards. I'm going to use Groundswell because I don't want him to hit a counterspell, which could be very bad. He should probably do it now. Oh, snap. I didn't realize what my mouth just said until after it was said. But yeah, no, oh, snap is fine. You get to do that. Rancor gets brought back to my hand. Okay. There is a wizard that counters spells when it gets flipped, isn't there? Oh. So it's like that, is it? Huh. I think I want to just let this happen. No, because then I'll lose. See, this is kind of difficult because if he has something that he can flip that just like draws him This is the one that draw him cards or the one that counters. So I'm trying to decide here. Um, I mean, I have this next turn, which I can Rancor up and is then unblockable. So if he does draw something, it has to be like super good. And if I play a Nettle Sentinel out too, then he's just has like a billion threats to deal with. So I think I'm just gonna let this resolve, then play out the Nettle. No, because then I can't untap that. Um, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna go for the win now, and then I'm just gonna be able to Rancor this up, and you'll have to deal with this. And if you can't deal with that, then he wins, I guess. No, jeez, this is rough. Um, I think I'll just Groundswell the Korean Ranger, so I can at least get that off the board and keep the Korean Ranger alive. Yeah. Well, if he has a counterspell or something that he can do, he's going to use it on that to kill the Korean Ranger. I might as well just go for the win then, because it's not going to change. It doesn't change the math or anything that much. So I'm assuming here he flips, returns 2 islands. Yep. Draws 2 cards. And if any of them are counterspells, then good for him. If not, he was going to do it anyways to make sure the Korean Ranger died. And now I also get to keep the young wolf alive. And I win. All right, so that was the first game. It was actually kind of good. Typically, mono blue is something I have some minor issues with. It's just kind of the nature of the beast. I don't like playing against control matchups. It's in my nature as a red player. He says playing the green deck. It's the closest thing I could find to red deck wins, okay? That was like, a legitimate strategy. And as somebody who played things like Cold Ultra Red back in the day, when people were running around with like birds clutching like 5 swords in their hands and like have somebody being like, I'm just gonna brainstorm every turn. As that guy, I love playing aggressive decks because I don't know if Cold Ultra Red had a really good matchup against Caw-Blade, but I was just taking people down with it. So yeah. Anyways, that's enough for this round, and I will be seeing you guys in the next round, where hopefully we can continue winning, because that's what's fun. Bye-bye.